He's ready to go. I've been ready to go for 10 minutes, I know. 10-minute workout, excuse me, what? It's not the 10-minute workout, it's Tuesday. It's not about a Tuesday. God, I'm on fire this morning. Lower body flexibility, everybody, there we are. Right, we're getting straight in. We're going for lower body, we're spending quality time, flexibility only, so not a foam roller in sight. Hip flexor, okay? A lot of people struggle. Their hip flexors are tight from being sat down a lot. They struggle to lock the hips out, okay? They struggle just that last bit, everything's jammed up tight, okay? That's gonna cause all sorts of postural problems, but blah, blah, blah. That's for another day. Let's get the stretch done. So, chair, wall, sofa, it doesn't matter, okay? The point is you need something that's gonna let you get your foot up against it. So a bench is what I've got here. A wall is better than a bench, okay? So all we're doing here, we're getting myself into this lovely position here, okay? So I want you to try and get that knee as close to the wall as you can to some degree, where it's comfortable, okay? But we don't want it too far away. Then I want you to try get yourself up to about 45 degrees with your body, okay? So you're with me so far. The aim of this is not to get vertical. The aim is to push your hips through. As a result, you'll come more vertical. What we don't want to happen is this, okay? So all I've done here is overextend my back, which is a no-no, that's no good. So everybody's different. At this position I'm in just now, I'm going to start pushing my hips through as if I'm at the top of that kettlebell swing. So I'm pushing, I'm squeezing my butt a wee bit to encourage that. So you have to be proactive with this stretch. It's just like the quad stretch. You have to think, right, I'm pushing my hips through, I'm pushing my hips through. Because as soon as you relax and let your mind wander, you'll stop pushing your hips through and you'll just be holding a half-arse stretch, which we don't do here, do we? Because we don't do anything half-arsed. If we're going to do it, and we're going to invest time in it, we're going to do it properly. So I'm pushing through, I'm pushing through, I'm pushing through. The more I push my hips through, the more vertical I'll become. So I wouldn't say my mobility is fantastic, okay? I would say it's decent. So you can see that I'm not quite vertical. Someone who's not quite there with their mobility, you might be down here with your hips getting pushed forward and you're feeling the stretch in here. Okay, that's the difference. Everybody's different. If you're very mobile, you'll be a lot more vertical, but the point is, you're taking it to the point it's at your max, you're feeling that stretch and you're working on it, you're pushing it through, through and through. With your pelvis, I want you to put your hands on your hips, okay? Find your hip bones, find your pelvis, okay, and put your hands on top of them. Get a good grip of it, and I want you to try and, well, get a grip of it and imagine, well, don't imagine, try to get it balanced, try to get the pelvis level, as opposed to a lot of people will be sitting there. If you're doing your left leg, your right hip bone will be sitting way higher, okay, you'll be ski whiff. So I want you to get yourself straightened up and push through on a nice level pelvis, okay, rather than putting all that pressure on one side of the hip. Because we're trying to mobilise ourselves and push ourselves into these positions that we should be getting into, rather than mobilising myself in a bad position. Okay, so if I'm just pushing through here, yes, I'm getting a stretch, okay, but I'm not training my brain very well, am I? So I'm pushing through. It's feeling like a hell of a stretch. You can see now that I'm almost vertical, but remember, okay, and you can do the test. Put the back of your hand on your lower back, put the palm of your hand on your belly, and you shouldn't feel like that lower back is starting to curve, okay? Your hand shouldn't be sticking away out, okay? So we're trying to keep ourselves feeling pretty level, pretty neutral. While also, where is the stretch? It's here, okay? You might feel it in the quads. If your quads are tight, you'll feel it in the quads. Either way, you're taking this as far as you can. You've gone further and further and further, okay? So from the starting position, the position you were in at the start, you might have been here. You should now be a good bit more vertical than you were when you started, if that makes sense. Okay, hip flexors, they get jammed up tight, people forget about them. It's another one of those go-tos. If you've got a dodgy lower back, if your lower back's feeling tight or feeling sore, people always focus on the lower back. I need to stretch my lower back out. Come around the sides, come around the front, deal with them too. Okay, so I'm going to change. Hip flexors are a big one, everybody. Okay, so change where you are. Because if these hip flexors are sitting jammed up tight, your pelvis will be sitting with a god-awful tilt on it. And if you can't lock the hips out properly, so look, if I come straight up vertical, what's wrong here? Yeah, I'm feeling a hell of a stretch, but I'm also feeling like my spine's about to come out my belly button. No good, so I'll lean forward. I'm not resting on my knee, okay, I've just got a bit of weight on there. Pushing through with the hips, got that stretch on. I'm going to focus on my breathing. I'm going to relax while taking this stretch further and further and further, and I'll find myself being able to just creep myself up just a wee bit more vertical each time. But remember, the focus is not on coming up vertical, the focus is on pushing the hips forwards. So squeeze through with that butt and you should be feeling a damn good stretch. Okay, it can be very uncomfortable for some, but remember, more uncomfortable things are, the more you tend to get from them with this stuff. No pain though. So yeah, if your hip flexors are tight, you'll struggle to lock the hips out. Okay, so when you try to snap the hips through on those kettlebell swings and you're not quite getting it there, you're putting a lot of strain on your lower back, okay? So hip flexors, big one. If these are feeling tight or you often feel your lower back sitting tight or your lower back's jammed up or you're pulling your lower back out a lot and these feel tight, get on them, okay? Runners especially, get on these. These are gonna get real tight, especially if you're sitting about a lot, okay? If you spend a lot of time sat down, which most of us do. Okay, so now I'm getting probably at the point where it's really uncomfortable, okay? I'm pushing through, it's the last little bit of work we're gonna do on these, so go for it, get the most out of them. Develop, get better. Don't just hold that position where it's uncomfortable and stay there for 2 minutes, otherwise you stay the same. Set yourself apart, push it a wee bit further, okay? Make sure that lower back's not going into extension, make sure the hips are as level as you can possibly get them. Last few seconds, and then boom, I want you to relax. So that's us done with hip flexors. We're going to work on the front end of the lower body first, okay, well, to the knee at least. And now we're going to get into our quads. So, the quad stretch. Okay, you might well have felt your quads a lot on that hip flexor stretch if they were that tight. On the quad stretch, okay, I'm leaning against my bench so I don't go off the camera. I want you to lean against a wall or hold on to something. You can just do it and hold your balance. Chances are, at some point you'll let your mind wander and start doing that, okay? So I want you to remove the need for balance so that you can focus purely on the stretch. So all I'm doing, I'll show you from the side. I'm grabbing my laces. The leg that's on the floor, okay, I'm keeping that knee soft. I'm keeping the knee soft, I'm not locking it out so all that weight's on the joint. I'm keeping it unlocked. First thing I do, I grab where my laces are tied, if you've got shoes on. Then I pull my knees together. So I pull my knees together, they're stuck, they're glued together now. And now all I think about doing is, same as before, push through with those hips. Okay, so I want you to squeeze through. You're gonna feel the pelvis, not the pelvis, you're gonna feel the butt cheeks, your glutes activate. That's what we're wanting. This is the one. I tell you every time we do this, you need to think about this one. You need to be constantly thinking further and further and further. Push through with the hips more and more and more. Because if you don't, and you start looking about going, oh God, that mantelpiece is a wee bit dusty. Need to get on that after this. Okay, you're gonna lose the whole point in this. Okay, you know, I see people farting about on camera, I always catch them. Never shout out their name. Okay, don't be that person on this one today. Push through, push through, push through. It's uncomfortable. It has to be. It might not be uncomfortable, but if you're doing it properly, you're going to feel it anywhere from the knee, anywhere up to the hip, or the entire length of. Push through, push through, push through. We're nearly there. So be aware of that lower back. Basically this is the same principles as the previous stretch. Don't let that happen. Don't let the pelvis tilt. Push through, squeeze the butt as if you're at the top of a glute bridge. And you should feel this. Keep your knees together. Don't let them start to come apart. Good, we're going to relax there. As always, shake the legs out. If you need a sip of water, get one. And then I'm simply just going to change legs. So again, I'm just leaning against this so I don't have to worry about balance. And that's the whole point, okay? It's not a matter of, oh, I'm good with balance. I would rather you just have nothing to focus on other than the stretch at hand. So I'm grabbing my laces, I'm getting my knees, I'm squeezing them together as if they're glued together, and then, and only then, I start pushing through with my hips. I get that first initial bit of stretch, and that's my starting point, okay? Push through a wee bit more, and constantly trying to just take it a wee bit further for the duration. Okay, so I'm pushing through, I'm pushing through, and I'm pushing through. I'm trying to relax everything else, focus on the task at hand. Okay, this is a stretch where we don't have gravity doing the work, we don't have our body weight leaning down, pushing on it. We have to manually engage the glutes, push through with those hips. So it takes a bit of thought and a bit of effort, so please make sure that you are actually putting it in. I just popped into my head, I wonder if we could ever do a mobility class where I don't really say anything. I always thought that. I thought everybody knows what they're doing by now. I'll just say the stretch, we'll do it. Keep the talk to a minimum, but turns out I can't help myself. Good, so we're keeping that going, we're pushing the hips through, Getting the quads, last little bit done. Good, and then I want you to relax there. So I'm about to move on to the hamstrings, so we're going to swing around onto the back of the leg and start working our way up to the glutes. If at this point there's anything anybody wants to do that would be part of this area, now's the time to let your voice be heard. Bearing in mind we're going to hamstrings, we'll be going on to the glutes and hips when we come back up. So if there's anything there that you think, oh, I'd really like to do that, on live of course, if you're watching recorded I can't hear you. So let's go for it. If anybody's not got anything, I want you to grab your resistance band and we're going for your banded hamstring stretch. As he wrecks the joint, right. That's why I like the recordings. You can edit all this faffing bit out so it looks like everything's nice and slick. People don't get to see the real meat, right? Okay, so banded hamstring stretch. I better do the wee. Sort of know where to cut it back in again. Right, of course we've done our inspection, okay, daily inspection before use. You're looking for what? You're looking for cracks, you're looking for kinks, anything that could potentially come back and cause you to get snapped in the face. If you see one, depending who you are, just turn a blind eye. So anyway, we're going to get this hooked around, the ball of our foot. Now, knees, okay, on live, I can see it, okay. Don't let these knees start to bend. You're defeating the purpose. The leg that's on the ground, dead weight, okay? Just switch it off. Just like that. Now it's not doing anything. It's dead weight in the ground. I'm getting a good grip of this, okay? And then all I'm doing is lying back. When I do this, okay, I want you to take as much tension out of this band as you can. But at the same time, if you've taken that much tension and you now look like me, what's wrong with this picture? I'm not relaxed. Core's engaged. Arms are getting tired, okay? I want you to relax, pull the shoulder blades back. Oof, that's better. That's how we should be. Trying to get as much tension on this band as you can, as much pull, but I'm not going to say it, although I am. The leg that's on the ground, the kneecap, not the kneecap, the back of the knee should be touching the ground, okay? Sort it out, people. Okay, I'm seeing this happening, I'm seeing that happening. We don't want that. Look at that dead leg on the ground. Get it dead. So now I'm pulling this band down, pushing my knee away from me, and I'm letting that foot relax. So this band is pulling those toes towards me. I'm not fighting it, I'm not pushing into the band. Once I've achieved that, I want you to take this as far as you can. And trust me, when I say you can probably take it further than you are. People will be holding this somewhere where it feels slightly uncomfortable and thinking, oh man, this is no nice. But in actual fact, you could probably go another 3 to 4 inches. So I'm trying to take my leg further and further back. So this is a perfect one to talk you through this. You're trying to take it further and further and further. You take it to the point in which you feel you can't take it any further, okay? And then you focus on your breathing. The muscles will relax to some degree, but when I say the muscles relax, I don't mean that it feels easier. Each little bit you take it further is going to feel more uncomfortable. They relax in the sense that you're able to take it more, well, you're able to take it further, should I say. It doesn't relax in the sense that it gets easier or that same level of discomfort is there the whole time. Each time you move that back a bit more, it's going to feel more and more like that hamstring is going to go whack and snap, okay? But we're trying to stay in that relaxed state. It's uncomfortable, but I'm focusing on my breathing and I'm just along for the ride, okay? It's just a little bit of discomfort. I'm not thinking about it too much. I'm not screwing my face up. I'm just trying to stay completely and utterly relaxed. So you can't see it probably when you're watching me, but every maybe 5 to 10 seconds, I just take it a wee bit further, okay? And you've got the joy of, you don't need to talk a load of piffle. So you can just focus on, which is going to help you relax all the more. So focus on that deep breathing, focus on the task at hand. Basically, do not be a half-arster. Take it further and further, okay? This is the last little bit, take it as far as I can now, okay? And I relax. Okay, so I want you to come back up. Ooh, and then just simply change legs. There's nothing to this, okay? I just want you to simply hook the band around the other foot, ball of the foot, not the toes, because we don't want it pinging off. Okay, and test it. Does that feel like it's in the right place? We don't want it on the arch, we want it on the ball. So when I pull this band, my toes get pulled towards me, okay? Right, You ready for it? Let's do it. Boom. Look at that other leg. It's relaxed. It is not like this. Do not let that knee bend. Get that leg completely relaxed on the ground. Good. So this one's feeling a lot tighter. Is that normal? Well, let's just say it is. So, not feeling like I've got that much resistance on it, so I'm going to go a wee bit higher, get my grip, come back down, relax into the ground. Right, so I've got it, my legs completely relaxed, my knees completely locked out. Feels like my hamstring's going to snap. I'm going to focus on my breathing, and then, just like that, boom, take it a wee bit further. So that's a process you work through. Get the knee locked out. I've seen some very dodgy ones again. Get the knee locked out. If you're taking it back further and further and you're letting your knee bend, you're defeating the purpose. As soon as you start bending that knee, you're going to start shortening out those hamstrings. We don't want to shorten them out, we want to lengthen them. Each time we move, we should be lengthening them more and more. So focus on that breathing. With this one, for most people, there is a high level of discomfort. Okay, keep working through it. Stay in that relaxed state. You've got this. Take it further. Like I say, just make sure you are actually taking it as far as you can. You're not just settling. Don't settle. And further again. Keep that process going. Trying to stay relaxed. Good, last few seconds, go for it, take it as far as you can. Good, and relax. Okay, so get rid of that band, we don't need it now. Right everybody, move on to a bit of groin, shall we? Groin time, kneeling groin stretch, okay? We're getting the knees as wide as we can. Now when you get into this stretch, you can go wider and wider and wider. You'll find that you might just be able to go a wee bit wider. So it's simple. All I'm doing is I'm trying to get my knees as wide as I can. I've got my foot directly behind my knee. I'm onto my elbows, and all I want you to do is just push back. Okay, so I want you to try and make sure you're pushing back with the tailbone and the butt. Don't let them start to curve round. So when you get to that point where it's maximum stretch, okay, and with your arms, I want you to feel like there's not much weight in your arms, so you shouldn't feel a significant difference when you lift an arm off the ground. We want the weight on the knees. We're trying to use gravity on this one. Okay, so groin's tight. If your groin's tight, you'll feel it on this one. I want you to take it to the point where you feel your groin's at maximum stretch, and then you continue, just like we've done on the hamstring stretch previously there. Take it further and further and further. Each time you take it further, make sure, well, think about your butt. Think about pushing your butt back, straight back to the wall behind you, rather than just going down, 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 because what will end up happening is you start to curve that lower back. Okay, you might not feel it, but your butt will start dropping down, your pelvis will start getting pulled underneath your body, and that's us giving in to the tightness basically. So if that starts to happen, you're no getting the benefit. So further and further and further. It's not nice at all, but we know that by now. Same process everybody. Focus on your breathing. It's uncomfortable, it's not nice. Try and pull the knees wider apart. Push the hips back more. Oh man, now it's really not nice. I'm gonna keep that process going. Okay, I'm gonna stay in a relaxed state. Don't take it to the point where it's so uncomfortable, you're shaking, you're all tensed up and horrible. Okay, we need to be relaxed. Trying to get these muscles to go that wee bit further, increase our range of movement. This is an important one as well. The groin, it's an area that you'll constantly be battling for flexibility and mobility. Like most things that we do, okay? You get better at it, but it's ongoing. The more you exercise, okay, this area gets tight from doing more deep squats. This area gets tight from sprints, running in general, okay? So it constantly needs a bit of time and care. A bit of TLC if you like. So again, take it as far as I can, I'm taking it further, I'm taking it further. Okay, I'm being productive with it, I'm not just holding it at a point where it feels all right and staying there for 2 minutes, okay? This is nasty, okay? You can't tell by my straight face, I've perfected my game face now for these classes. The reality is, I'm like, whoa! but I don't want to be like that. I'm trying to fool myself into thinking I'm relaxed so that I stay that way. Last few seconds, I want you to take it as far as you can. Go for it now. Good. Right, relax out of that. Okay, so next up. It's not all chilled out, okay? I see a lot of people going, oh, flexibility, cool, nice chilled morning. Nope, because it's about to change. Okay, we're going to do the splits. So I want you to, yeah, don't look confused, get up on your feet, let's go. So I want you to go as wide as you can with your feet, as wide as you can. And I want you to keep your toes pointing 11 and 1 o'clock. How does that sound familiar? When did I tell you to do that when we squat? That's exactly what we're about to do. We're about to squat, but on one foot at a time here. So with this foot, I want you to drive the toes into the ground, and I want you to squat. I'll show you in a minute. But the point is, do not let your heel lift off the floor, and do not do what I'm about to show you. Basically, watch me first. I'm going to squat, 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 squat down onto one leg as far as I can go until I feel a good stretch in here. I'm going to hold it, and then I'm going to release. Now what people do wrong, and I see it all the time, I'll show you on this side now, right? People do this, they come down, they go like that, okay? My heel's off the ground, I'm supporting, I'm feeling a nice stretch in there, that's all fine and well, okay? But remember what I said, I'm trying to train my body the way it's going to be working. So I want you to squat as low as you can. Think about it, this knee's getting pulled apart, it's getting pulled out that way. I'm sitting down, you're going to feel a hell of a stretch in here, and you're trying to take it as low as you can go. I'll show you from the side also. Don't let this happen. See the problem? I don't squat like that, do I? I keep my chest up, push my hips back. Okay, I hold the squat form. It's tough, sure, it's a stress position. Get over it. And then I want you to stand up. I want you to hold it for 5 to 10 seconds, okay? Realise this now, it's not meant to be easy, okay? So if it's getting tiring on your wee legs, good. So I'm going back, I'm back, you can tell as I'm sympathetic as always am. Hips back, because this is tough if you want it to. I want you to put effort into this. If you put effort into this, each time you go down, you'll find yourself getting significantly lower each time that you do. That foot stays firm on the ground, don't start lifting it off. Okay, so you can see it's tough. Both feet stay on the ground the way they are, okay? So I'm squatting down, 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 down. I'm feeling the stretch in my groin already. Down, 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 down. Foot on the ground, foot on the ground. Driving my toes, pulling my knee apart, my chest up. I'm finding myself getting lower and lower and lower each time. Getting a sweat on, good. It's not all easy, is it? It's tough, but it's working because each time I go down, I can feel myself getting down lower. I'm mobilising my body the way it's meant to be. Okay, I want you to do 2 more each side. Make the most of it, don't be lazy. If it's tough, all the more reason to do it. If you do this right and you do this well, see when you stand up, you're going to feel like your hips are all loose. When you've done your 2, you should feel that when you bring your feet back in. Have a wee walk around. You'll feel a wee bit light in the hips, okay? And that's how you should feel. So have a wee walk around. If you've done that right, you should feel a lot more mobile, okay, than you were before you started. If you've not done it right, you're just going to feel like you wasted your time, which, to be honest, you probably did. Right, okay, what are we on to next? Groin's done. Time to do some glutes. So we're going to start off with the classic glute stretch. Now with the classic glute stretch, the reason I like the classic and we don't always do the enhanced, is with the classic, you can get a bit of groin and a bit of glute in. It depends how tight you are. So leg out, 90 degrees, pin that foot, chest up, proud. And I want you to try and get that chest towards the knee initially without arching the back. So don't just do this is all I'm saying. Try to get down there without arching the back, because if I arch the back, I've not lengthened out the glutes to get down there, I've just arched my back. So Where do you put your hands? I always usually pin my hand on my foot, that's habit. Other hand, doesn't matter. I'm not focusing on that, I'm focusing on trying to get lower. So this arm's just out supporting me because right now, this is feeling like a damn good stretch. As time goes on, I'm going to get lower, I'm going to have to move that hand, I'm probably going to go into my elbow. Usual stuff, everybody. Do it properly, do it well. You'll feel it either on the glutes, the outside of your hip, or you might feel it in the groin, you might feel it in both, okay? Depends feels tightest. So I'm going down, 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 down. I'm getting further and further. Once I start to get lower, I can drop that elbow. Problem is, people make the mistake of just going straight down into this position. But the back's not straight, it's arched, okay? So they're not actually lengthening out the glutes and the groin to get down there. They're just getting down there. So now that I'm getting down to reasonable, as in I'm near the floor, I'm doing my left leg, so I'm stretching out my left glutes and my left groin if you like. I'm going to take my right arm, so obviously if you're doing your right, you're going to take the left arm. I'm going to take my right arm, plank it on the ground like so, and I'm just going to twist away from my foot, which is going to bring the glutes into it a lot more. That's how we get the glutes a wee bit going. So I'm just going to twist away, and the reason I'm planting this arm here is because the legs start to struggle to hold that position. So when I plant this elbow down lower and lower, and again the process is the same. Use gravity, don't fight it, relax. Relax the muscle group. Just imagine everything in your body's just getting sunk into the ground, okay? Try to get the weight down on, push down the weight onto that leg rather than just arch the back to get down there, okay? And again, you just move your arms anywhere that feels right. So you're going to have to constantly change the position of your arms as you start to get down lower, which you should be getting down lower than when you started, because you're doing it right, you're putting the work in, aren't you? Good. That's just keep relaxing. So glutes are another one. Glutes get used and abused, big powerful muscle group. Glutes are tight, they're going to pull down onto that lower back. Okay, that lower back's going to feel tight. So remember, if you do have a tight lower back, I just always refer to the lower back because it's such a common thing. Lower back pain, people moaning about the lower back or people pulling the lower backs out. They go straight to the lower back stretches, they go straight to the lower back mobility stuff. Up and down, left and right. Chances are those areas are tight too, and could even be the cause of why your lower back is sore and tight, why you pulled it out in the first place. So I'm going to change legs. Ooh, tighten away that a bit, keep my time flies when you're having so much fun. So I'm going to change legs. So I'm pinning that leg at 90 degrees. Now, back leg, okay, this is what makes or breaks this. I probably should have said this on the last leg. This back leg, you need to try and get that back leg as far behind you as you can, but still at that 90 degree bend. So it's 90 degrees and 90 degrees, kind of looking like a crushed spider, okay? And I'm going to get myself down. So again, you put the hands wherever you want to put the hands, but don't just go like this. So big mistake, go like this. Oh, feel a hell of a stretch, okay? That's fine, but it's not good enough. Work your way to that by doing it properly. Don't let the back arch. I'm just letting gravity pull me down, my muscle group's starting to relax more and more. Getting it. Okay, so now I'm probably at the point where I probably could drop to the elbow now. My back's still nice and straightish. So be proactive, take it as far as you can. I'm doing my right leg, so I'm going to put my left arm onto the elbow, and I'm just going to use that to help twist me away while pushing down. So I'm still going down, but I'm trying to twist ever so slightly away from my foot, which will help focus more onto the glutes. Take it as far as you can. Last little bit now, everybody. Good. And relax there. Hit. So, still working with the glutes here, but we're going to do up against the wall. I'm using a bench, okay? I'm using a bench because my wall will mean that the camera's way off shot. Plus I don't really have a spare section of wall. It's better to do this on a wall, okay? If you don't have the means to, a bench will do fine, but it has to be something that when you're pushing all your weight into, it's not going to start skinking across the floor. So I want you to get side on to whatever it is, because the idea is I'm trying to get my hips as close to it as I can. Okay, I've gone that far, and now I'm going to twist, and I'm going to plant that foot against the wall. Left foot planted against the wall, and then I'm going to come up with my right leg, I'm going to put it across. Okay, so my foot, it goes past my knee. So it's not bone on muscle, it's muscle on muscle. Okay, and this is where if you've gone back far enough, there should be a gap between your tailbone, your pelvis, and the floor. So you should be able to put your hands just underneath your butt and there's a big gap. That means we've gone close enough. That means we've got something to play with here. If you've not gone close enough to the wall, you'll find that your tailbone's on the floor, and that's no use, because then you've got nothing to work with. You've got no range to stretch out on. So with this, I'm bringing the leg across, and then I want you to relax, okay? I want you to relax and let gravity pull those hips towards the ground. And then I'm just going to gently push this knee out, and when I do that, you should be feeling the stretch predominantly right in the glutes, okay? But you'll also feel it in your lower back. Well, you might not feel it in your lower back, but you probably will feel it in your lower back to some degree. So I'm just, with this hand, just gently pushing that away. But I want you to think, everybody, about being relaxed. Let gravity take you down. No muscle group should be activated here. Gravity's pulling my hips down. I'm just pushing this knee to help enhance the stretch of my glutes. And I'm going for it. So the problem with this one is, the problem that you'll encounter is you think you're relaxed, but you're not. So that's where you need to think, right, I'm just going to sink into the floor. And then when you do that, you should feel the stretch. If you're not feeling the stretch, you're probably fighting it to some degree. So really focus, let gravity pull you down. Okay, so we're halfway there. I want you to get your hand, rather than push the knee, pull the knee slightly. And when I say pull it, you don't need to pull it much. Stay in that relaxed state, and if you stay in that relaxed state, you'll feel the stretch sweeping across your glutes now. So I'm not pulling it with any might or force, it's just a gentle push. You can do it with 2 fingers worth of strength, okay? Not a lot needed. We're just shifting the emphasis a wee bit. Now this is where, if you've got a good position on the go here, as in your hips are off the ground and you're close to the wall, all you need to do is change legs. If you're not, you're going to have to go back and reset. Now I've not managed to move because luckily I've got a rubber floor. If you've got if you've got a laminate floor and you've just slid across the room, then you might have to reset here. So all I've done, I've changed legs. Let's change legs, everybody. So leg across. First thing to do is relax, okay? So I'm trying to relax. Then I'm going to push that knee ever so slightly. Get that stretch in at the glutes and just focus on that breathing. Stretch comes once you've managed to fully relax, and gravity is literally just letting those hips sink towards the ground. You get pulled towards the ground in a relaxed state. Gentle pushing the knee away. Then same stretch, still same principle. I'm just going to pull the knee towards me slightly while still letting those hips sink. Nothing should change other than now you should start to feel a sweep going across the butt. Okay, so just a gentle push. I mean, it doesn't have to be gentle. Once you feel the stretch, you can pull it more and more, but just be careful. Point is, you don't need a lot of pull to get that stretch. So just pulling the knee across to the opposite elbow, but gently. And relaxed there, everybody. Right, let's get the show on the road. Let's get moving. Right. We're moving on to the lower body. Don't even need to stand up. Okay, I'm getting on my knees. Getting on my knees are going to be roughly shoulder width apart. Okay, and then all I'm doing is this one. Now let me show you from the side because it makes more sense. The area that you're trying to target here, everybody, is up the front of your shin. Now, if you've never done it before or you're not doing it enough, it's going to feel hellish. If you do it often, it's not going to feel too bad. You slip your hand underneath your heel, underneath the front of your foot there, at the bottom of your shin. There's a gap. We're trying to close that gap. That's the focus of this stretch, just in case you're not sure. So all I want you to do is make sure the toes are flat, the top of your toes are flat against the ground, because then you get some people trying to do it like this. See the point? See the problem there? This is for some of you with the tiniest screen in the world now have to come up and see your whole retina. But it's I want you to try and or you don't try. Straight those toes out, point the toes away from me so that the top of my foot is flush against the floor. And all I want you to do is just gradually start putting the weight down on them. If they're real stiff, the fighter will fight it. The toes will push into the ground, it will tense. So phase one of this is just being able to bounce on top to help relax it, and then, right, that's me in a relaxed state now. It feels horrible. And then all I want you to try and do is, rather than rush, a lot of people try to rush to go back further, as in, okay? First part is trying to be able to bear all your body weight onto those, but in a relaxed state, okay? So the problem is, I don't want you going, oh, look at me, but you're going, because that's defeating the purpose, okay? So you take the arms away, you manage to stay in that relaxed state, and I'll tell you now, it's not easy, because this is horrendous. Okay, this feels awful. So that's more important than this, okay? That's more important than achieving this. You get my point? To get more weight down on there, you're going to get a better stretch. Watch the knees. Should have said that, but common sense. If your knee feels like it's agony, then ease off it a bit. Okay, I want you to then put the arms back on and just put as much as you can bear on it. Okay, we should be able to do this pain-free. However, if you've got dodgy knees or a dodgy knee, you're going to find that it's not going to be pain-free. So we don't want pain. We don't want to make anything worse either. So you go to the point in which you can manage. So with this stretch, okay, it's not nice. Now I'm not putting the weight on my arm. I'm just putting them down because I need to put them somewhere. I'm really trying to get as much weight down on here. It's nasty. It's not nice. Okay, it's not nice. It's an important stretch though. Especially all you runners. I always say this when we do this one. It's a very important one for a runner. You're going to find that muscle group seizes up big time. Now you can come back. And when you come back, don't bridge the hips up because that brings the glutes and the quads into it. I want you to focus, rather than when you go back, try to imagine you're trying to lean back so that your knees start to lift off the floor. That's what I want you to imagine you're doing. You're putting that much weight down onto your feet now that your knees are about to lift. Okay, and we're going to just gradually, when you come out of this one, it's nasty, okay? You've restricted the blood flow, so I want you to come out of it slowly, the same way you went into it. Nice and even, okay? Don't start leaning off to the side. And then I want you just to slowly stand up. And like I say, expect it to feel pretty horrible, especially in the front, okay? But as you walk around slowly, let the blood flow back into it, you should feel better for it. Right, okay, let's get into it. Ankles, we're going to do the ankles. We know the ankle one off by heart, most of you, so let's get done. Don't do it wrong, don't do it half-arsed. Make sure you've got a good setup before you begin and commit to it. What do I mean by a good setup? I'm going to lean back. I'm going to try and get the ball of my toes, of my foot, sorry, on the wall. If I don't get the ball of the foot on the wall, you're not going to get a good stretch here. So I'm going to bend the knee slightly. As soon as I bend that knee, I'm feeling the stretch straight away down at my ankle, not on the calf. I want to get it down here on the ankle joint. More important for the time restraints that we're under, that we spend time on the ankle. So push forward, and then all I want you to do is shift forward more and more. And as you do that, you'll get more weight on it and you'll enhance it, but make sure we're always keeping that knee bent. It's about feel, okay? I'm trying to feel the stretch in my ankle joint. When I go forward a bit more, I should feel that enhance. I should not feel the ease off. Now what I mean by make sure you've got the right setup before you commit. If it's 30 seconds in and you're deciding that, oh, my foot's sliding down the wall, this isn't working, then that's what I mean by you've get it right. Okay, get it right. I see a lot, always see it. It's another one I see a lot of faffing. I see a lot of faffing with this one on live. Not right now, it's looking good, but I mean in general when we do this one. It's 2 minutes of continually, I think back to the hamstring stretch, banded hamstring stretch, it's the same process. That's the one where it's clear as day. Okay, I'm holding it, it doesn't feel nice, I'm going to take it further. Okay, I'm going to push my knee forward. I'm going to stay in that relaxed state. Okay, make sure you're not fighting it, make sure you're not farting about. We take it as far as you can. There's no bouncing of the stretch. There's no easing in and out. The only bounce that you'll do is the one that I've told you about before, is the gentle rocking back and forward of the knee. And you don't do that continuously. If you feel things are jammed up pretty tight, if you just try to rock that knee like you can see me doing just now, rock it back and forward a few times and then back into the stretch, and you should find it just helps you relax into it a bit more if things are feeling tight. We don't want to keep that going the whole time. So push down into the ground, push down into what you're pushing your toes against. Stay in a relaxed state when you do so. Okay, right, I probably won't go any closer now, because if I go any closer, I'll probably snap it. So be sensible, shouldn't be hurting myself, but you are. This is uncomfortable. Trying to push my knee forward, 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 forward. Okay, and I'm going to ease out slowly. Have a very quick walk around. Let the blood flow, and then get straight into the next one. Time is of the essence. So again, lean back. If you can't lift your toes up high enough, and even if you can, I just encourage you to lean back. So watch this. Lean back so you can get the toes up high up the wall, so that you've got the ball of the foot on the wall. You need to that ball of the foot. It's no good if your toes are just on the wall. Then, part one, bend that knee, okay? So I can feel this side straight away, feels a hell of a lot tighter. So first part, I'm quite far away from my wall, okay, bench, my wall. Quite far away from it just now, but I'm feeling a hell of a stretch. So take it further, creep forward more weights down on it, but if you do it too much too soon, so this is borderline, I'm going to rock it back and forward a wee bit because it's feeling real tight, so just help it relax a bit more, because I can feel it. Your body will fight it. If it's tight, you'll find that your body will fight the stretch. It'll try and tense everything up, and that's where you just need to do everything. I keep telling you, relax, focus on your breathing, okay, to try and help that muscle group in that area relax into what we're trying to achieve. So it's been a lower body only flexibility overhaul. And like I keep saying, we are following a system, but we break off of that system as well, because we need to keep on top of everything. It's not enough that if we just do a target area, because there's so many target areas, by the time we come back to the one we started on, it'll be about a year. So you get my point? Rather than just do one and then it's another 12 months before we get back round to doing it again. We are following a circle, okay? My circle makes no sense to anyone but me. But we keep dipping in and out of, as you'll notice, full body overhauls, lower body flexibility, upper body flexibility. We're trying to keep everything going, okay? So while it might seem like we're here, there and everywhere, there is an underlying kind of... And of course, listening to people on live, when people hurt themselves, as in me, because it's all about me, when people hurt themselves, I'll then tailor the session a bit more aimed at that. So, you know, I was aware a few people had done their lower back out, a few people were getting niggles and pains. For some bizarre reason, loads of people started going out running more than they ever did. So starting to introduce more of those kind of things. So yep, tailor it as well as following the mainstream system. Right, I want you to ease out. Okay, right, you need a bit of space for this one. So if you've got any apparatus, get it out the road. Get yourself your resistance band. You don't need a mat, you don't need a mat at all. Right, you're getting your resistance band. We're going to do this one quickly to finish off. This is a full body stretch / mobilization movement. It's just the same as our hamstring stretch. Okay, so hook it on the ball of the foot. Okay, watch this one before you do it, just to make sure you're doing it right. I'm going to go very quickly. Easy enough. Hook it around the ball of the foot, think hamstring stretch. I'm up with my right leg. I'm going to bring my right leg across. Make sure that right knee stays locked out. I can't say it enough. Straight away in that position, along the entire length of my leg into the hip, it feels like a hell of a stretch. Then I'm going to bring across and twist across and try to pin this opposite shoulder and bring my eye line with it across here. If you don't feel much going on here, or to enhance it, get a lower grip of, pull the band more basically, get more tension on that band and lift the leg a bit higher. But I can't say it again. Okay, let's go. Can't say it enough. Make sure the leg, when the band attached to it is locked out. If it's not locked out, you're just making it easy for yourself, okay? Now you are trying to twist fully away. Once you're in this position, you're trying to achieve a relaxed state. So the entire length of that leg just feels relaxed, sinking into the ground. You'll feel it predominantly around the glute and hip area. You're going to feel it running down along the hamstrings. You're going to feel it behind the knee potentially. And you're going to feel the lower back, the obliques, the chest, the shoulders. That's why we love this one, okay? It does a hell of a lot. So it's a good one to end on. So you need to think, am I relaxed or am I fighting this? Am I sinking into the ground or am I fighting that? Find a relaxed state. Keep the knee locked out, take it as far as you can. Okay. Now you can hold this as long as you can. Okay, I'm going to cut this down because it is getting to that time. I'm going to change legs. So if you want to crack on recorded or live, because this is the last one we're doing and then I'm out of here, then please keep holding it. Okay, because all I'm going to do is change legs and then that'll be us done. We'll be calling it a day there. So this is a very important one. So if you feel you want to hold it longer, you feel you're getting some good out of it, please hold it longer. Because we are being a bit quicker here. Focus on your breathing, stay relaxed. Biggest point is the knee has to be locked out. You have to be pulling on this band a lot and you have to think, am I relaxed? Am I sinking into the ground completely or is the muscles in my legs, etc. all tensed up fighting this? As I say, if you want to keep holding it, because that is all we're doing. You know how to do it, so if you want to spend a bit more time on it, please do so. However, that has been a lower body flexibility overhaul. Hopefully you enjoyed it, hopefully it served some purpose, and if you did it properly, it absolutely did serve more than a purpose. Thank you very much and have a good day.